Hello everyone, this is Esports Hector, and in today's video, we're going to do something a little different. We're going to make a recipe for a snack. I know that me personally, I'm a snacker. I like to snack, after dinner, sometimes midday. So just a nice healthy snack that can, you can have in between matchmaking or just, in the middle of your day if you don't feel like you're, really up for eating something like a full meal. So big thing here. You're gonna need bananas. I've already started to make some just for the sake of just fast forwarding more or less this video. I'm using an all natural peanut butter. We personally like to use, so by we I mean my wife and I, we like to use a chunky peanut butter, but if you like to use more of a smooth or almond butter, some of the other nut butters, by all means, please do so. I have a baking sheet with parchment paper on there, and I'm gonna explain in a little bit why that's the case. Cutting board and knife. And so what we're going to do here is we're just going to start cutting these bananas. What I may end up doing is just fast forwarding some of these processes just so that way you don't feel like you're just watching it, for the sake of watching it. So with the bananas, I think maybe kind of a knuckles length. So we take the knuckle right here where it bends to the end. That's typically like a good amount right there. So I'm just going to put it right on the parchment paper. I'm not going to use the end just because you can't really, it doesn't sit nicely on the baking sheet, so you could always end up eating that. Okay, so I got these on. Now, if you have any questions about any sort of dietary info, I can only talk about it from a lifestyle or behavioral standpoint. I can't prescribe you what to eat for your health. That's where you need to go reach out to a registered dietitian just to get that information, and they can kind of go more in depth as to what your needs are and how what they can do will help best fit those needs. So I'm just cutting this last banana, again cutting the end just as we don't need it on the board. So good news is part one's pretty much done. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to fill this tray. I'm getting pretty close to the end. May have to just give it a little bit more space. Perfect. So we got that right there. Just gonna put this, the rest of the peels. Now, good news is, what we're gonna do with the bananas on the tray is we're actually gonna throw them in the freezer. So, I'm gonna just do that right now. And again, as I mentioned before, I'm just going to fast forward the process a little bit. So I already have these bananas that are ready to go. They're already frozen. And I'm going to take my peanut butter with 2 spoons. So the idea here is just so that way you're not getting, it all over, the banana into the peanut butter and whatnot. Keep everything separate. Also, just make sure that with natural peanut butter, because the oil sits at the top, you want to give it a nice little swirl around, mix it up, so that way it's pretty even. Otherwise, it's kind of soupy at the top, and then it's all the chunks and all the goodness of the peanut butter is sitting at the bottom, waiting to be eaten. So I'm just going to take a heaping scoop of peanut butter, and I'm just going to put a little bit at a time. It's going to go on the parchment paper, and that's perfectly fine. Again, the point of this right here is just to use the parchment paper so it doesn't stick onto the baking sheet. Sometimes that's what's going to end up happening with frozen fruits. All that water content can sometimes freeze on to the fruit itself or onto the sheet itself. So then you need a spatula and you end up ripping the banana. So we're trying to just, conserve as much, be as sustainable as possible. Again, I'll just be fast forwarding through some of this, just because this can be pretty mundane, monotonous. Sometimes you may just need a little bit more. Just on the last couple. So with the freezer, with the bananas that I just cut and threw in the freezer, I would say maybe, 2-3 hours is probably a good time frame. Again, what I did originally was these were cut yesterday, so I let them freeze overnight. There's nothing wrong with doing that. But if you're, in the mood for wanting a snack later on, I would say, maybe do it a little bit earlier in your day. So just at the very tail end. And there we go. So that's all set. I like to keep my peanut butter non-refrigerated after I open it, just because the oils, again, if you let it sit in the refrigerator, the oils dry out, so it just feels like plaster, I guess, is the best way to describe it. So what I'm going to do here now is just take this, throw it right back into the freezer. The finished product is going to look something similar to this right here. So as you can see, you know, again, banana's frozen. Peanut butter, it's going to look a little bit more tan, again, just because it all froze up. So the, you know, the water contents within the fruit, the peanut butter, is just going to keep it a little bit brown. You can see like the, you know, the darker parts of the peanut butter. So again, what I would say is, you know, take maybe 4 or 5, you know, pieces of banana with the peanut butter, or again, whatever, a nut butter in the event that you have an allergy to peanut butter, and put that in a bowl. And then, you know, you have a snack that isn't only just sweet, but also savory. So I'm just going to take a bite right now. And as you can see, the peanut butter just all went in one piece, just because it is really stiff. But overall, this is a really good piece of banana right here. With the banana, I would say if you keep this over a week, you may see it get really bruised and damaged in terms of being in the freezer. So you want to eat this over the course of the next few days, essentially. So there you have it, folks. I want to thank you for your time. If you could please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you could share this with any friends or family. Again, this is a snack not only just for gamers, but for anyone. So if you like bananas, peanut butter, or again, any nut butter, is a really great snack, really healthy snack. Again, don't overdo it, just because peanut butter can be dense in terms of calories, so don't want to go too crazy with that. And so with that, everybody, stay healthy and game on.